So in our first reading in summary, we heard Daniel and these other noble men in a tight spot in a foreign country with a foreign pagan leader, asking them to do something that would be against kosher, and they were in a tight spot, but they found a way out. They trusted, and God provided. I just want to share a quick story in my own life where there was a matter of conscience that worked out, praise God. I was a teenager working my first real job at a supermarket here in Florida, and I was invited to a friend's homecoming at a neighboring school. And I was asked within the 2-week window that you could submit time off requests. And the schedule came out, and unfortunately, I was scheduled to work that Friday evening that their homecoming was. So I began asking the manager if, the first initial manager, if we could make a change, and he said, no, you're going to have to find someone yourself. So I started calling all of the other front service clerks or baggers at the supermarket, and no one could do it. So I kind of went back through the list. I even called the retired guy that only worked a couple days a week in the morning, hey, could you work a Friday night for me? No, sorry, I can't do that. I went through the whole list. No one could do it. So now I was in a predicament. I was talking to other people, and they were saying, hey, you can just say that you have pink eye, because pink eye is one of those things that, resolves in 24 hours, but you have to stay home. It's very contagious. Other people said, just, call in sick that afternoon. Just do this, just do that. First of all, I thought that was imprudent considering I'd already been publicly looking for coverage. I thought that wouldn't work out too well. But I couldn't see that as a way out. So I went to the next level supervisor, to the assistant manager, and I shared my predicament. She said, listen, I've done this, I've done that, all of these things I've tried to do, and I'm trying to do the right thing. And thankfully, she said, we have a lot of employees that will just call in sick or do this or that. So I'm going to just take you off the schedule as if you were never on the schedule. You don't have to worry about it. We'll work it out. So Friday night, those are kind of a wild card, but probably be slow anyway, so we'll just take you off. You're good to go. It's yes, sweet. Got to follow my conscience, and I got to go to this event and have some fun memories with friends. So many times I've seen in movies and other things where people were in tight spots and they lied, they cheated, they grasped at, they took, and then there was this line that I've heard again in many different movies. I didn't have a choice. Or someone lamenting for them, they didn't have a choice. And I think we need to be very aware that that is not sound reasoning. We have choices. Sometimes they're difficult. But if we place our hope that everything is going to work out according to our perspective in this life, then we wouldn't become a Saint Cecilia. We wouldn't become this poor widow. We don't have all of the backstory to understand what were the small, ordinary choices they were making all the while that prepared them with integrity and courage to take the stance they took in these readings, Daniel and these other noblemen and this anonymous widow. But what I would propose to you, which seems consistent with the lives of the saints and other stories and even personal examples, is that it's small everyday fidelities that prepare a person for extraordinary fidelity and courage. So if you admire these people featured in our readings today and want to be like them, then don't cheat in small ways. Don't lie in small ways. Don't say in small ways, well, I had no choice. I had to lie so as to not hurt this person's feelings. What about the Lord's feelings? And that whole 8th commandment thing about not bearing false witness. Saint Cecilia was able to be faithful because she put her hope in the next life. And this widow may have very well put all sorts of sums from her maybe previous surplus wealth or even from her need that when it came to this moment, it may not have been as great of a sacrifice as we thought, because she had a habit of trusting that the Lord would provide for her. Let us take ownership of the choices we have. Let us place our hope in the Lord, who will honor those who act according to their good conscience, in good faith, according to the best they know of his good will, so that we can see more examples of ordinary and extraordinary heroism and integrity.